Hey guys, how's it going? I'm here to do the review on the Atlas Trainman GP38-2 right here. So this is the Atlas Trainman GP38-2 3802 is the cab number. And one thing I'd like to talk about real quick, seems like a hot topic lately is budget-friendly locomotives. So the Atlas Trainman series, which you can see has this little red Trainman in the corner, which that would be opposed to coming in a box like this. That would be the Atlas's budget-friendly locomotives. And seems to be a lot of people talking about that on YouTube because the cost of rolling stock in locomotives is just through the roof. That, and also it seems like a lot more manufacturers are making things like turnkey, fully detailed. And there's still some modelers out there that are like, you know what, I'd like to detail this, or I'd like to customize this in some way. And I mean, now I think really the only thing left that they have to do is paint the rolling stock already with the graffiti on it, and then you wouldn't have to do anything. But like at that point, what is the point of actually modeling? Like back in the day, the point of modeling was, you know, you had to assemble everything from kits. And there's a lot of different companies. Most of the different companies actually have like a value line that you won't say it's like a cheap line because everything is made in China anyway, but like a line that you can start out and then improve upon it. And really the differences are in what you take away from their, because like most of the companies start with their high-priced, super detailed locomotives or cars, and then they take something away from it to try to make it cheaper. And my personal opinion is that's better than starting with the cheap side and then amping it up to be, you know, a better, more quality product. So, and each company has their own thing. Bachmann has the Bachmann Plus, which used to be just Bachmann and then Bachmann Spectrum, and then I think Bachmann got such a bad name because their regular locomotives, the non-Spectrum models, were so bad in quality that, you know, so they started making a kind of a middle road in between the regular Bachmann, and then they had Bachmann Plus and then Bachmann Spectrum. Now they just have the Bachmann Plus and Bachmann Spectrum. So, and each different company, they're curtailing to certain types of modelers, whereas Bachmann is very entry-level friendly. That's why they're coming out with all this locomotives with Bluetooth control and everything in them. And then you have MTH, which has the Ready to Rail series. Walters has, I think it's Trainline. Basically and then there's, you know, Scale Trains has like the Operator series or whatever. But basically they're all trying to capture the same thing, is something that you can buy and fill up your fleet without spending, you know, breaking the bank. So this Atlas is part of that Trainman series, and we're going to take a look at what it is and the details of it. And one of the reasons why I want to do this review, I'm sorry guys, already at 4 minutes here, I need to hurry up and get into the review, is because MTH and Atlas came out with this same locomotive at exactly the same time. And I've seen a lot of reviews on the MTH one, but not very many on the Atlas. And looking at what was taken away on the MTH versus the Atlas is a big part of the whole setup. So let's look at the locomotive now. I'm going to unbox it really fast, and then we'll look at the details. And I'm going to take some still shots with my other camera that has the 41 megapixel camera, so you can actually really get some good, you know, bird's eye view on the details of it. So stay tuned. All right, here the locomotive is in the box. 3802. It's pretty easy. It comes off, box top comes off like that. It's kind of hard to hold the camera. Pull this out. Hold on one second. All right, so I just got it out of the box. It's just a standard, has like the sleeve plastic on it, little exploded, you know, the parts diagram. You can buy the different parts or whatever in there. So this plastic sleeve slides off. I have to pause this again because I'm out of the sleeve. All right, then you got these two plastic pieces on either side that have to come off. Gonna pause it again. All right, here we are. This is the first time this locomotive has been out of the box. It's still on the plastic piece, and just want to point out this one last thing is that the Atlas holds their locomotive to the this like stabilizer block thing or whatever with 2 screws, and it also comes with this package right here. It has like 2 little plugs that you can put in the screw holes, like just in case you have like a realism camera under your layout that captures realistic shots of the underbody of your locomotive and you're afraid to having holes right there. Like you would never see those holes anyways, but they do offer those plugs to plug them up if that really bothers you. So I'm gonna pause this one more time and then take the screws out. All right, I just got the screws out and you can see the 2 screws right here and right here. Little foam pad that the locomotive was sitting on. Pretty nice as far as protecting the locomotive, good packaging, but the one thing I don't like about Atlas and Walther's packaging also is that if you have to take out screws to take your locomotive out, then that means every time you want to put your locomotive back in the box, you have to put the screws back in. And to me, that's kind of a pain in the neck, especially since like I have to move all the time, so I'm constantly putting my locomotives back in the original boxes. All right, well, here we go. Try to brighten it up a little bit, and then we'll come in and try to get in close and get nice and personal on this. All right, guys, a couple of days went by actually since the last portion of that video. I had to move things around in this room a little bit because it just wasn't bright enough, and I kept trying to film the video after work, and with daylight savings time it was just dark at 5 o'clock pretty much every day, so it was just a lamp light in the room. So gonna go ahead in and look at this engine. I will say beforehand as a disclaimer, I'm trying to become an expert on these GP38-2s that the Indiana Railroad owns. Sorry for the jerkiness there. But I'm not an expert on diesels or the different parts. So this is going to be kind of a familiarization for you. You can pause the video and look at the detail at any time if you want to. Zoom in here a little bit. See what you have. Starting at the right front side, have steps, little anti-climber thing, I think that's called. Snowplow is already attached. It doesn't have any MU cables under there, but there is a little pad. I don't know if you can see it. Just look at this one here. You can see the little pad there where you can actually, it's like a locating pad to show you where to locate the MU cables. And while we're in this view, I'll also point out that there are no molded on grab irons. There are no grab irons because this is a true modeler's budget-friendly locomotive. This video is really jerky with it zoomed in like this. What I say by that is like, as opposed to like the MTH one, where it comes with molded on grab irons. This one does not, because it's designed so that you can add those super detail parts later, and it has little locating places for you to add them right there. You can see little locating places, and you can see the marker lights are actually painted over, which is prototypically correct. I don't think there's very few railroads that use marker lights anymore. It's kind of more of a thing of the transition era and steam era. There's the 3803 number boards, the high headlight, chain on the front. It's just a cast chain, but all these, you know, the handrails are the separately applied detail parts. It does have cab figures in it. Let's go zoom out and go back to the one we unboxed here. Moving down the side, You see a little bit of rivet detail there on the cab. Pretty nice cab figures. You see this where it says GPS equipped on the side. Little battery box door there, IndianaRailroad.com. See the jacking pads. The truck detail is, I think it's significantly good. Anytime where like you can see where the little brake line there is, it's, I'm not sure if that's separately applied or if that's just cast like that to be like, to really look like it's separately applied, but it's kind of a nice touch there, that little brake line that's running across the top of the truck. So moving on up, you get the cab, got the engineer fireman figures, one on each side, 3802. The horn, I actually ended up breaking this horn just yesterday as I was moving this area around. I'll show you the one here on 3803. But it is a separately applied part, so you can, I'll be able to order that from Atlas. Just the back part of it broke off there. I still have it. I might just try to glue it back. I'm not sure. Let's move on down the sides. A little grill there. It's not see-through, but nevertheless, the little latch detail is decent. These engines won't get a lot of weathering because just from the, here you see a little decal there. Really, it's really small, and that's very nice. You can read that through magnification like this. Fire extinguisher, maintenance personnel only, little fan grill. This is I got lost there for a second. Sort of a see-through grill there on the dynamic brake. Come back again, jack pad, rear truck. There is no tread or anything on the no tread or anything on the side or anything like that. I think, see a little fuel tank detail on this side. Little sight glass thing there. Air tank. Really nice crisp paint. It's kind of cool, the Indiana Railroad logo, that eye in the circle with the line, almost like, kind of looks like the old Monon logo. Let's come around here to the back. And you see again, no, there's some detail, but no grab irons and no MU cable. So this would be a really cool engine to get to for a project type of thing. Nice little project. You can add that stuff later. Comes with Atlas's couplers. These little couplers, basically they kind of split and they hold together really well in long trains, but they don't mate very well with KD couplers, especially the 58 or scale size KD couplers. Here's a little bit on the roof detail. Let's go across the roof. You got the fan. It's kind of like cast. I'm not sure how they did that, but it's not like a see-through like a Genesis, Athearn Genesis fan or anything, or etched metal, but with a little bit of like dirt and stuff in there. Like I said, these engines aren't going to get weathered that heavily, but there are going to be some areas that are a little bit, just a little bit dusty. Because Indiana Railroad really keeps their locomotives up, pretty nice. So there's that. The fans for the radiator. You see the exhaust and the dynamic brake fan there. The nice little grill here that's like not really see-through, but almost like there's some depth to it. So and they do have cast-in little lift rings, if you can see right there in the center of the screen. Little cast-in lift rings. Here's our little fireman on that side, GPS equipped GP38-2 locomotive right there. So that's pretty much it for the detail overview. I think both of these engines are really nice detail overall, and nice as a project worthy engine for detailing and adding some pretty nice sound to it and everything. So it's going to be a project that I'm going to be doing. I'm trying to simplify my and stop collecting, you know, rolling stock and engines and get more into modeling. So that's kind of why I bought this pair of engines, is hopefully I can build a 4x8 layout that I can divide up, and I'm going to do another video on that in the future. But let's go into a little bit of running these engines, and I'll give you a couple thoughts on that. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and run the engine, and like I think I stated previously in this video, these are the Silver Series ones. So these is DCC ready, but not DCC or sound. So pretty much this is just going to be a straight up test of how smooth the motor is, and I'm using a really old Bachmann power pack. In fact, I'll show you a clip of it right here. This is what I'm using for my power. So if these things can respond anywhere very, like even marginally well with this, then they should respond a lot better with better power systems. So let's go ahead. I'm going to apply a little bit of power to it. Oh, no, we go backwards, wrong way. All right, so the headlight trying to come on there. Try to get it a little bit slower. Literally just crawling along there, not really steady, but it's got some slow speed to it. I don't necessarily like the little growl sound that it makes, but let's look at that rear light. Pretty sure these are LED lights, and you can see there as I speed it up, it does have lighted number boards, which is a nice touch. Personally, I would rather have lighted number boards than ditch lights, because ditch lights seems like they'll be a lot easier to install. So let's go back here and grab this freight car. This is actually 2 Atlas freight cars. So, see if we can get that slow speed operation with that little bit of a load. Not too bad, considering that neither of these locomotives have been broken in at all, and this is an extremely old Bachmann power pack. So for DC power, I consider that pretty good. I wouldn't put these as a 10 for the smoothest engines, just because like I don't like the sound of that little growl that the engine makes that much. Personally, I feel like MTH and Walthers did a little bit better job on their budget-friendly line. By the motors are a little bit higher end, but I don't know, maybe after breaking this thing in and running it around a circle a lot, it'll maybe start to be a little bit smoother and get rid of that little growl. So, and then hopefully with DCC, providing that nice even power from the decoder, maybe that'll help it out as well. So alright, well that's pretty much it for the review. I'm gonna probably try to add some still shots on to this video. I might not add them as soon as I put the video up, because I'm trying to experiment with different ways of uploading the videos and connecting the different clips together that's a little bit more streamlined. This video, it was made over a period of a couple days, and it's probably going to take a couple days to upload it since I'm working over a hotspot and I have to upload little segments at a time. But hopefully when it gets up, thanks to those who watch it, and look for future videos upcoming. Later.